Hiya everyone! Today I'm going to be showing you how I made this beautiful rosebud hair bow. The reason I'm calling it a rosebud hair bow is because of the obvious really. Not actually because of these rosebuds in the middle, but because each side of this bow, that just resembles like the petals on a rose, like a little rosebud. Such a pretty shape. This one obviously I made in white. I'm going to go for this gorgeous vibrant yellow now because I saw some beautiful yellow roses in a shop the other day. So I thought, oh, I have to try a nice yellow one. So that is what I'm going to do today. I've got these 1 centimetre roses. They're really nice quality. They came from eBay. I'll pop the link for these in the description below. I got a pack of 40 in these 4 different colours. And then I also bought a pack of 40 in white, and the reason I bought the white is so I could try colouring them myself. So as you can see, I've made a pink and a yellow, and to do this I used just normal craft paints. I'm not sure how well they're going to hold out, like if it rains or whatever, if the colour would run onto the ribbon, I'm not sure. So I'm not going to say that I recommend doing that yet, because I need to test these out, but that is what I did for these anyway. With using the paint, the secret is not to make it too watery, because obviously with these being paper flowers, they will soak up the water. So I tried not to use too much water in the paints, and then I just dabbed a paintbrush around them. So yeah, these are what I'm going to be using on this yellow bow. So I've already cut my ribbon. These 2 here are for the base bow, and these 4 here are for the main part of the bow. So for the base bow you need 2 pieces of ribbon. It's a 4 centimetre wide ribbon, or 1.5 inch wide, and I've cut 2 pieces to 20 centimetres in length, and that is for the base bow. And for the main part of the bow, again it's 1.5 inch wide, or 4 centimetre wide ribbon, and we've got 4 pieces cut to 16 centimetres in length. So to begin with, I'm going to just show you how I made my base bow. You could do a just simple double tucks bow if you wanted, but I'm going to do it slightly different. As you can see on this one, I didn't want it too wide, the bottom bow. I wanted it to be more narrow to suit the bow. So I'm just heat sealing my ends on my ribbon. And then I've got some all-purpose UHU glue. Mine's a little bit messy. I have got a new one somewhere, which I bought to make videos with, so you guys didn't have to see this disgusting one, but this was the first one I got out, so excuse my messy glue. I'm just going to pop some glue along the end of that ribbon and fold it over to form a loop, overlapping it by around 1/2 centimetre, so you've got a loop like that. Do the same with the second piece. And then we're just going to flatten that down, and then picking up the other loop, we're going to slot this one inside so they're crossed over. And then I'm just going to make sure that these crossover bits are both at the bottom middle, and then line them up on the top side so that these top ends are just in line like that. And then we're going to take a needle and some double strength thread and sew right across this centre from this piece here to this edge here. So I've got my needle with double strength thread and a knot at the end. I'm using my new extra long needles. These needles are 9 centimetres long. They're quite flexible, but I wanted a thin needle. I don't like when they're too thick, when they leave big holes in the ribbon. So I bought these ones and they're actually quite good. I'm quite impressed with them. Because then you can go all the way across like this. So you've got 6 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you can bunch it together while it's still on the needle, and then pull it through to the knot, and then wrap that around the centre. So they're quite handy to have. I'll link these needles in the description below as well. And then I'm just going to go through on this underside. And on this second one, I'm going to go in, not pull it through completely tight. And I'm going to go through this loop to form a knot. And then trim off that excess thread. And then as you can see, you've got a nice little base bow there. So we're just going to set that aside and then bringing forward our other 4 pieces of ribbon, which are the 16cm length pieces. We're going to start making our main part of our bow. Now first of all, taking a lighter, you will need to heat seal all the ends of your 4 pieces of ribbon. So now we've got the ends all nicely heat sealed, we're going to put 2 together for one side of the bow and this first 2 for the other half of the bow. So I've already prepared the first half of my bow just to make the video a little bit quicker, and I've just popped a knot in the end here by going in through the end of that pinch and then through this loop to form a knot, and that's just holding that pinch in there. I'm keeping the cotton attached so that I can use this to join on the other half of my bow. So I'm going to set that aside. Ooh. And I'm going to show you how to make that half of the bow. So taking our 2 remaining 16cm pieces, we use 2 for this half and we're now going to use the other 2 for the other half. I've popped some pins here ready to pin my bow into place as we're making it. Picking up one of your pieces, you want to bring the 2 sides downwards. So just bringing 2 sides down like this. So you've got a point at the top here and the pocket is sitting at the back away from you. You want to line these ends up at the bottom here and have these inner edges touching each other all the way up to the point like that. And then I'm just going to hold those in place at the top there by pinching it between my fingers like that. And then once you're happy that that's all nicely lined up, you then want to bring this inner corner upwards and then just meet it with this point at the top. And then I'm just going to hold that in place whilst I bring the other corner up. And I'm also going to line that up with that point at the top there. And then once you're happy that that's all nicely lined up like that, I'm going to take a couple of pins and we're just going to pop them in there to hold it all into place. So this is what we've got now. We're going to do the same with the second piece. So bringing both sides down so you've got the point at the top, lining up the bottom, again I'm using my fingers to keep this part pinched together, and then bringing that corner upwards and then the other corner. And then again you want to just pin that into place on both sides. So now you've got two pieces exactly the same, and then next you want to pick up both pieces so they're facing the same way, and you're going to place one on top of the other. And line those up, and then once you've got them all in line, you can just pull out the bottom pin. Again, I'm keeping this all pinched in place with my fingers. I'm going to pull out that bottom pin and place it through both the layers. The same with the other side. So now they're both pinned together and lined up nicely. Next I'm going to flip it over so you've got the raw side on the bottom and the folds are on the top, and we're going to fold in this top layer, and we're just going to overlap this center a little bit like that, and then bring in the other side. And then I'm just going to check that this bottom piece is around 2.5 centimeters, which that is. And then next, bringing in the outer pieces, fold those in, but you want those to meet in the middle. So fold it inwards, and you can tell where the center is because you can just see the point here from the folds in the ribbon, and they're in the center. So bring those in to the center and the other half, and you want them to just touch in the middle like this. So the two ends are just touching in the middle there. And then I'm just going to flip that again upside down so I can sew across this bottom, and I always sew from right to left, and I'm continuing with my same piece of thread from the other half of the bow. So I'm going to go in. I'm not going to pull it all the way because we're still attached to this half, and then I'm going to come back through halfway between this outer, or this little corner here, so halfway about here, come back through, and then I'm going to go in through this corner, making sure I catch that point at the bottom there, and then come back through that point there, and then coming through the other side on this other inner corner, and then again halfway between, and then out through the last edge. And then I'm just going to remove all of those pins. And then when we pull this tight, that will join the two halves together, and then the pinch will form. And once you're happy you've got that pinch in there nice and tight, seal off that edge so you don't lose the pinch. I'm going to go in through this loop to form a knot, pull it tight, and then as you can see they're joined, but this half is not joined, so I'm going to flip it over to the underside, and then we're going to bring these two halves together by coming up through the other half of the bow, and then back in through this side, And I'll just do that a few times through both halves, and that will just close it both in together. And then on this last one I'm going to go in through both sides. I'm not going to pull it tight because I'm going to again go through this loop to form a knot, so we can cut off that excess thread. And then, as you can see, you've got your beautiful rose-shaped bow taking place. And now we're ready to attach it to our base bow. So I've got my Dremel 940. This is a high temperature hot glue gun. I'm going to pop some glue onto my base bow and then line up my rosebud bow on the top there. And next we need to add a clip and a centre. Now I don't have any bright yellow ribbon in a 1 centimetre wide to match, so I've cut off this piece, which is 11 centimetres in length, and I'm going to be using a double pronged 45mm clip, and I like to line my clips, so I'm going to cut off a strip just by eye around 1 centimetre wide all the way along that 11 centimetre length of ribbon, and then I'm just going to use my lighter to heat seal that raw edge. And I'm going to use this to line my clip. So there's our lined clip. And now I'm going to attach that to the underside of our bow. And then again, using the strip that we just cut off the piece for our hair clip, I'm just going to again heat seal that raw edge, and then I'm going to cut off another strip, again around 1 centimetre wide, and I'm just doing this by eye. And I will again heat seal that raw edge as well. And this piece I'm going to store in my spares bag, so I'll heat seal that edge, and then I can keep this piece to line another clip or to wrap it around another centre of a bow. So I'm just going to place a little bit of glue on the underside of my ribbon and stick it in the middle of my clip, and then I'm going to start wrapping it around my hair bow. I'm going to place a little bit of glue where those two halves join together, just to make sure that they keep covered up. And now we're ready to add our paper roses into the centre of our bow. So I'm just going to cut these off the stems. And I'll just use hot glue to apply these to my bow. Now I like to put 2 diagonal like that, and then the third one in there, so they're kind of at an angle like that. So I'll start with the yellow one, and I'll place that at the top slightly to the right, and then I'll take the pink one and place that down the bottom slightly to the left, and then the last one, the white one, I'll place that one down here slightly to the right again. Slightly to the right, but more to the centre than this one. And there you have your finished beautiful rosebud hair bow. And there's the white one as well. Gorgeous shape. I love this one. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and also press the bell button to turn on notifications. Thank you for watching, guys. Bye bye.